Hey everybody, I'm Jimmy Rance and today's show is sponsored by this Onion. Everybody's got to sponsor something, so I thought, well, what can I be sponsored by? Well, I'm sponsored by this onion. Okay, moving right along. Look, I have a story for you. I'm trying to find. This is a big ass onion. Let me if I can find a place to put it. I want to talk to you about something a little later on. I like to sit around the Cracker Barrel and talk. Y'all know how I do. I'm long-winded, so if you want to, not listen to the story, well, y'all need to head on out now because I don't have nothing really good to say until maybe 5 minutes from now. I'm kind of long-winded. But anyway, before I begin, I want to say this. Here, let me move this. I got to get my pen. This is my fidgety pen. Um, Look, I notice, and I want to thank you guys for not bringing this to my attention. I think you're doing this just because you're being real kind. Uh, I noticed that every time I do a video, and I can't see this because I'm visually impaired right now, and I don't really see all that great. But one thing I've noticed is that when I make a video, like right now, well, before I put the video on, I watch it just to make sure that everything's smooth and it's okay. But then when I'm watching my own video playback, you know what I notice? I notice that there's like a hair or something sticking out. Every video, there's a hair or a cluster of hairs that's just sticking up. And when I'm doing these videos, like right now, I may have 20 hairs just sticking all up, but I can't see them. So just put up with it, okay? I'm kind of doing the best I can. I really am. Something else, you know what's really strange to me is when I do a video that I think is going to do maybe halfway decent. I'm a very small channel. I don't have getting close to 1,300 people, and I'm not a big channel, so I can't expect a lot of people to come and watch a video. But yesterday I did that video about what did I call it? The day God showed up or something like that. And I told this story. You can go back. It was the last video that I did if you want to watch it. And as of right now, in 24 hours, I've only had like maybe 80 something people watch that video. And I really thought that, this is one of the best stories that I have to tell. It's a true story of something that happened to me when I was pretty young. And but nobody shows up. Now, if I would have made a video about talking about, well, my next door neighbor, I could see him. A man was sneaking through the window, and the husband came home, and it was a big fight. Oh man, you'd come out the woodwork to watch that. But that's really strange. But I do appreciate those of you who did watch yesterday's video, the day that God showed up. I thought it was a good video, and I'm sorry that most of you didn't get to see it. And I have another true story for you a little later on. I'm just, like I said, I'm long-winded, so it'll take me a while to get there. I want to thank y'all, too, for participating. And this is kind of becoming an everyday thing, and I want to do this every day because it seems like you folks like it, and that's my poll questions. Well, I'm going to shift these poll questions into something that I hope that it'll be fun for you to let you participate in something. Again, I'm a small channel, but we're like, I know this is a stupid way to put it, but we're like a little family here. You know what I mean? We're a little community. And just like most families, we don't always get along and we bicker and we may fight a little bit, but we always come back together and we kind of hug and kiss and make up and everything. And that's pretty much what a family does. So that's kind of what we are. So we may not be a real big channel, but we're a good channel. We try to support each other and help each other, be friendly, talk, communicate with each other. Maybe you can make a new friend, just give it a shot, give it a try. But right now I have this poll thing that I started the other day, and I'm going to call this like the Battle of the Bands. Every day I'm doing a poll question. I'm only going to do 4 of these poll questions, only 4. And each poll will have 4 different choices. And right now, we're trying to figure out who was the best band in the 1970s. But you are going to be the ones to pick out who that band is. So far, the first poll that we've already had, so far, the Eagles, the band, the Eagles are winning. So what we're going to do is after I have the 4 polls, I'm on poll 2 right now today. So run over to my community tab or wherever it is and let your vote count, man. Fight for your favorite band. I forgot who I picked today, but they're good bands. These are big time bands back in the 1970s. And then not tomorrow, but the next day, we'll have another poll question. That'll be 3. It will be another group of 4. And then we'll have one more final poll question. Again, same subject. Who do you think is the best band? And then what we're going to do is, like on the 5th poll, we're going to take the winner from each poll that you picked, and we're going to have like the battle of the bands and let y'all select who y'all think is the best band. And then when that's over with, who knows what we'll do? We'll do another poll question, maybe something nostalgic. I don't know, like what's the best TV sitcom, or what's the best movie of all time, or whatever. We'll think of something, but we'll just do this as a series of different polls. I think that will be a lot of fun, and I hope you'll participate, and I hope you'll look forward into doing the poll questions. I'm really enjoying it. Now, after how long we've been on here? Oh my God! See, 6.5 minutes. Is that what that says? See, I can't see. Yeah, 6.5 minutes. And I'm just now getting ready to get into my little story. Another true story. I don't really know where to start. I'm just going to tell the story from the best of what I can recall. All I can recall on this deal is I was a teenager, older teenager, and my grandfather and I'm from the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and one thing that we do, most of the people, a lot of families do, is we go fishing, and we go crabbing, we go soft shell crabbing, we go shrimping. We'll throw out some like cornmeal or something on the water, and we'll have brill nets, and we'd throw it at nighttime, and we'd catch a bunch of shrimp, take them home and eat them, catch some fish. That's what we did. We enjoyed that. It's just innocent fun, and it fed the family. Well, there's something else that we used to do, and it's called floundering. And for those of you who don't know what that is, a flounder is a fish. Really, there's a lot of people who don't know what this is. It's a fish. It's a real thin fish and kind of a oval, rounded looking fish. And they're kind of a bottom fish. They kind of swim on the bottom of the, in this case, it was the Gulf of Mexico. Today, Gulf of America, whatever you want to call it. Well, anyway, I'm a teenager, and my grandfather's a really very straightforward kind of man, very nice man. He owned a grocery store, a good man, and people liked him, very honorable man. Well, anyway, we went floundering one night, and there's several ways to go floundering. You have like a lantern, and you carry the lantern in your hand, and you walk in about knee-deep of water. And the lantern allows you to see all the way down to the very bottom to the sand, and you can see the flounder. And if you see a flounder laying there, you gig it with a spear. And then that's how you flounder. Well, there's another way to flounder. We used to go to this place. It's the Bay of St. Louis, or Bay St. Louis. And we used to go floundering there. And what we would do is we would get in a boat, like a skiff. That you rowed a skiff, and we would hang lanterns off on the side of the boat. So it's nighttime, the lanterns are going, and you can see down through the water. And if you see a flounder, well, I know some of you may get upset, but you gig the flounder, and then you take the flounder off the floundering gig and string it up or whatever. And we used to do this all the time in the summer. That's what we used to do. Well, this one night, I don't remember when it was. It was in late summer. I do remember that. My grandfather and I, we just got set up. We were probably, I don't know, it couldn't have been maybe 30 minutes or less when we got there, got the boat in the water, got all rigged out. We're ready to go, just having a good time, like we always did. But something strange happened at night. It was kind of dark. I remember there was quite a bit of stars. I'm trying to remember the best I can. This was a very defining time in my life. That's why I can kind of remember this stuff. Well, anyway, we're sitting there floundering, and I looked up, like at maybe a 45-degree angle, looking up, and I saw something. And I saw something that I didn't know what it was. I thought, was that a plane? Is that a helicopter? Is it a weather balloon? But whatever this thing was, it was kind of, let me see if I can do it. It was kind of oval, like this. Hey, there's some hair on there, good deal. Anyway, it was oval, and there was these lights that went around it. And they would blink, 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 blink. And it was just, it wasn't close. It was out there, but I could see it. But I turned around and I looked at my grandpa, and he was looking at it too. And we're both staring at this thing, trying to figure out what in the world is this thing. But I'll tell you something that I really noticed, and I picked up real quick. It really it frightened my grandfather. It really did. I've never seen him like this, but he was looking and I was looking, and I'd look at him and he would look at me, and we're looking up. And I'm telling you, my grandfather broke probably an all-time rowing speed record for rowing a boat back to shore. I mean, he hooked him up, man. He hauled out of there. And we got out of that boat, and we got the boat back on the trailer, and we looked at each other, and we looked back up, and it's gone. Whatever we were looking at up there, whatever it was, it's gone. Don't know to this day, we don't know what it was. But my grandfather looked at me and he goes, Jim, he says, if we tell anybody what we saw, they're going to think we're slam crazy. Maybe we better keep this to ourselves. I said, oh, okay. I called him Pawpaw. I had a grandma, Mama. Well, he was Pawpaw. I love that guy. But anyway, we kind of kept our mouth shut, but it scared him, and we got out of there quickly. And we both thought that whatever we saw, which we don't know what we saw to this day, I don't know what I saw. I have an idea of what I think what I saw. I don't want to say a flying saucer, but that's all I can come up with, or a UFO. A UFO. Now, again, my grandfather's a very religious man, very good man, businessman, upstanding. He's not the kind of, he's not a BSer, you know what I mean? And so, for him to think that we saw a UFO, well, I trusted we saw a UFO. It wasn't just me seeing it, he saw it too. But here's a little bit more, and then I'm going to wrap it up. The strange thing about this was during this time, 1973, is when this happened. Not long after that, I have an aunt who lives in the country. Her name was Aunt Nita. Aunt Nita was a good old country gal, another church-going person, sweetheart of a lady, my aunt. And she was telling us that she saw something in the sky that was strange, that was floating around overhead somewhere, not overhead, but out and about. And she pretty much described the same thing that what me and Pawpaw saw. So here me and my grandfather saw this thing, and now my aunt is explaining to us the same thing. We saw the same thing. And we kind of talked about it a little bit. And we didn't know, we knew we're not crazy, but we know what we saw. We didn't know what we saw, but we knew it was something different. Now here's where I'm going to wrap it up. Now you can look this story up, people, if you want to. About that at the same time period, a few months later, I'm not sure, but I think it was in October. It's either October or September, probably October, in 1973, I'm pretty sure. There were two men, and they were in a town. It's an Indian name, but it's a funny sounding town. It's a big shipbuilding town on the Mississippi coast. The town is called Pascagoula, Mississippi. Pascagoula, Pascagoula. I think that's right. Pascagoula, Mississippi. There were these two men. I think they were on a wharf, a pier or something. these two gentlemen, I think their name was, I may get it wrong, Hickman was one man's name, and I think the other's name was Parker, I think. I may be wrong. Look it up, Google it. UFO sighting, two men abducted, Pascagoula, Mississippi, 1973, or somewhere around there. And you can read this story. This was one of the biggest UFO stories in the world. But these two men said not only did they see something, they were abducted and like teleported into this UFO. And this is in the same time period that me and Pawpaw saw that thing. It's the same time period, not long after, my aunt saw this thing. And then this big global story breaks out about these two men that got abducted and they literally medically testing these two men from Pascagoula, Mississippi. Now, how is this just a coincidence? Check the story out. I think 1973, Pascagoula, Mississippi, two men abducted by UFO. They had professional UFO hunters and all that. All over the world came to talk to these men. These men were put under hypnosis several times by professional psychiatrists or whatever, and their stories checked out to be true. They gave them polygraph tests. They all checked out true. And that's my story. Did me and Pawpaw, that night, did we see the same UFO? And my aunt saw the same UFO that the same two men in Pascagoula saw, and beam me up, Scotty. I'm telling you, there's some strange stuff, man, that goes on in this world that we can't explain. But that's my story that I wanted to share. I'll probably get 30 people to watch it, but that's okay. This is a true story. And I'm going to wrap it up here. So there you go. So thank you very much. And remember, folks, this is very important. Today's show was brought to you by this onion, which is going to probably go into a big pot of red beans later on. So red beans and ricely yours. I'm Jimmy Rance, and thank you again for being here. I appreciate it. I really do.